Hello, good afternoon. Well, I shall also say that I've been working with the CEC for the past years as a legal counsel, and I've been retained by Mexican government since 1996 to do the laws I've done. Me and my firm, mostly most of the environmental laws in Mexico since that date, but the water law. I've been working with the UN development program for the last 8 years also, and for the UN Meteorological Organization, also for wetlands projects in Mexico and the wetland policy. I've been also working on waste. I did the regulations for the Mexican TRI, and I'm working closely with Semarnat, developing the guidelines for environmental impact and environmental assessment. So what I'm going to show you is my latest involvement in trying to develop legislation for climate change. The thing is, I've been retained by Semarnat and by the UK embassy for a year, and as you will see, I've been receiving a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but some money there to do nothing at all, because there's nothing in there's no law and no regs. But we have been using the money and the time for some other interesting things regarding climate change. As you will see, Mexico has I think, done a lot of things since the adoption of the Climate Change Convention. We immediately adopted it in 1992. We were the first one of non-Annex 1 countries to issue the first national communication. Then was adopted the Kyoto Protocol. We ratified that in 2000. We then, in 2001, issued the second national communication. We were the first to establish the environmental special programs for Mexico. Then we issued the third and fourth communications. Now we're hosting the COP16, and we have done a lot in these years. And taking into account that, in accordance with Semarnat, 134 non-Annex 1 countries have not yet issued the first communication, I think that we have done a lot. We have also, as I mentioned, I've been working in the Mexican TRIs in 1996, and doing the regs and the modification to the regs, and the licenses and follow-up certificates, etc. I've been working with Semarnat closely in that matters. Also, Mexico has been doing a lot of studies on vulnerability and adaptation, and it has to be that way, after the destruction of Cancun and the complete flooding of Tabasco, and as the governor is saying, the re-engineering to move the capital city of Tabasco somewhere else, which is now underway, which talks about how important it is for Mexico, and how difficult it has been the very past years on this. At least these disasters, at least in part due to, they say, climate change. We're pretty vulnerable. We have problems in each of the regions, from severe droughts in the northern part, to the raining in the Pacific, with heat waves in central Mexico, to hurricanes and raining in the southeast, and of course the hurricanes and all together in the Yucatan Peninsula. So we have been struck pretty hard these past years. I just want to put some charts here, just for you to measure the problems that we're seeing. Mexico is a pretty dry country. Half of it is without water, and you will see to the left. The current pressure on water resources. Of course, red is a red flag. There's no water there. And business as usual is the central map, where you will see that the Baja Peninsula is on really big problems. But if we take into consideration climate change, it will be much worse in the country, which is the map to the right. at the national level, a 10% reduction of water availability is foreseen, by 2030 with respect to 2000. And now we are really in a deficit of water. This is a chart from the Centro Mario Molina. I also work for the Centro Mario Molina with one colleague that is in the other presentation, doing the norms for transportation and low emissions housing. And this is what we are using as a reference. If we do what we say we can do, we can cut 54% of expected emissions in 20 years, which is a very, very, very optimistic way to put it. We have also determined with some kind of precision the estimated cost of emissions of GHGs in the 1230, which, well, these numbers are much more clear on that. Mexico has to spend between 0.7 and 2.21% of its GDP, and that is that 0.7, or well, the 2% is about 20 billion USD per year to reduce 50% of the emissions. That's what we expect to do with the other chart. If not, we don't do that, Mexico will lose 6.2 gross domestic product, or $60 billion per year. Today, in this only this year, 9 months, the trust, the fund for disasters, and the states have funneled $1 billion just in 9 months for to address already happening disasters in the country. What are we doing? Of course, we have a lot of programs right now. We have been funded by a number of, the UN funds us, the IDB, some other countries. Right now, for example, we are focusing a lot of money and resources to reduce in energy generation, in transportation, in agriculture and forestry, etc. And everybody was telling us and especially the people that is giving us money, saying, well, how are you going to ensure that this is done the right way, besides the programming that you say that you're doing? And we have been for a year working on legislation. And it's interesting because, the Senate has proposed already a general law on climate change, very much like the one in the UK, with general provisions, calling for the coordination of the different levels of government, to establish public policies and a national system for disasters and etc. However, the House was not that convinced. Semarnat, the Ministry of Environment, also stopped any legislation. They didn't want to run, even though it was expected that we have a legislation by the COP. The COP begins in 2 weeks, so we're not going to have that.